Bonsoir. I am coming to you live for Cuisine to Michel. This is our first attempt. Excuse me. This is our first attempt at a live video. So welcome if you just happen to catch it. We didn't announce it because we just thought we'd see how this goes and see if maybe we can make future live videos this way. Anyway, tonight I'm making some Thai red curry chicken. I've made this recipe before. It's super extra tasty. So let's get started on the recipe. Over here, I've already pre-measured some of these ingredients we're going to be adding into the bowl. This is 6 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 3 tablespoons of lime juice, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. I'm going to put just a pinch or so of red pepper flakes in there because we're already getting some heat from. This is red curry paste. I know it's a little awkward because this can opens upside down. I don't want it to fall out of there. Anyway, we're going to put a heaping tablespoon in here of this. Oh, come on, get out of there. I'm pretty generous because I really love Thai red curry, so I'm going to stir that all together. Looks like my brown sugar didn't want to break up there. I'm going to take out that chunk. We don't need that. Okay. Next, we're going to be throwing in, this is 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. And I'm going to stir that up so that they get coated. Yeah, the recipe that I used for this, it was a recipe I found quite a while back on my recipes. I've been making this for a long, long time. You're supposed to kind of let this sit and marinate. It says for 15 minutes. I don't know that it's necessary to leave it that entire amount of time, but meanwhile, we'll go ahead and prepare some of the other ingredients that we're going to be needing and just tell you a little bit about what's happening here. I'm going to be serving it with some rice. So I made rice, and if you've never made rice in your pressure cooker before, it is really amazing. I made some basmati rice to go with this, and I put, you just put the exact same amount of rice as you do water. And so the rice, there was 1 cup, and then I put 1 cup of water to go along with it. Put 4 minutes of high pressure. And then you let the pressure naturally release. So my rice is actually already ready to go. I prepped that ahead of time. Other ingredients that I'm going to be using here, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way. So these are some of the other things we're going to need. We're going to need some canola oil. I'm going to open up. These are straw mushrooms, and we really, really love the straw mushrooms. So I'm going to use 2 cans. You don't have to use 2 cans if you're not as big into mushrooms. I recommend getting the ones that are peeled. That's better. The other ones, I've done them once before, but they're not real lovely. I don't know why they don't turn out quite as nice. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and open those up. And we're just doing this so that while this is marinating for a couple of minutes, hopefully also this will give some people the chance to tune in. So this is what straw mushrooms look like. You can kind of see what they're like. They're kind of an interesting looking mushroom there. They're super tasty if you love mushrooms. These are wonderful. So let's get our second can open. And they are in a liquid, so of course I'm draining those off. And if you are watching me live, thank you. Very happy for you to join us live for our first time live. I hope everybody's getting in on the live here. And Then we've got some coconut milk. This already has a pull top for us. So we'll go ahead and get that ready to go. I'm going to need to stir that up with a spoon, but we'll get to that in just a minute. We'll also be needing, this is Thai fish sauce. So you can see this, I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I have no idea, so I apologize. But I did not learn any of that yet. But I know that this is what you look for on that. And we'll also need some salt. We're going to take just a moment here to pause while I check on a setting, but I will be right back in just a moment. All right, thank you for holding on for just a moment there while we made sure that our settings were going okay and all of that. We're going to be going over here to the stove to get things ready there. So I've got my wok ready to go here on the stove. And I know it hasn't been a full 15 minutes yet, but we're going to go ahead and try this. I think that the flavor will still be just fine, even though I haven't waited that long. I'm impatient to eat anyway because I'm hungry. So I'm going to go ahead and get this rolling. Let's start here in the pan. So I'm going to go ahead and heat that over a medium-high heat. We're going to be putting in the oil in just a moment. All right, the heat's starting to come through into the wok, so I'm going to heat up a tablespoon of the canola oil. Get that in there. It won't take long because that's a very quick to heat pan that I've got there on that wok. And what we're going to do is use a slotted spoon, and we're going to be removing the chicken from this marinade, using that slotted spoon so that the marinade stays in there for now. Let's see how we're doing. Maybe just another moment to make sure that's plenty hot. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to push some of that out of the way on the marinade. Oh yeah, plenty hot there. Sorry, camera guy. Ew. It does pop. Working on getting all of that chicken in there. And once we do that, we're going to be trying to kind of stir it around and like a stir fry. There we we go. So we're going to be stirring that around and cooking it for about 4 minutes or so. We want to make sure that our chicken is getting plenty cooked. While we're waiting for that to cook, let us know if you're, as you're watching, where are you watching from, or just say hello in the comments. Anything is welcome as long as you are nice and polite with each other. I don't think too many people are probably watching at this moment, but that's okay. My camera guys tell me that there's 5 of you, so welcome all 5 of you. Thank you for joining us. And I know that for some of our overseas viewers, they won't have had the chance to see this since it's going to be like the middle of the night for them. And keep going on that stir fry right there. It's looking good so far. I'll pick my heat up just a little bit. Just make sure that that's getting plenty done. And I am going to grab a bowl so that we're going to be taking that chicken back out of there. Which of course I'll use a different slotted spoon for. In just a moment, you can see that my pink is starting to disappear on the chicken. Once again, thank you for those of you who are joining us live here. This is pretty exciting for us. I hope we'll get to try this again. But this was just to see how this would go. I think most channels do try their live out like this the first time just because they're not sure if it's going to go okay or not. And of course, since we've never done this before, we have no idea. Chicken's looking great. Try to keep it up there in some of the hotter parts of the pan. This is how we do. Now, I don't go and shake my pan while I'm stir frying very often because, well, first of all, there's a good amount of liquid in there, so that would probably cause problems. But second of all, I'm not very good at that. That's something that I probably need to try to get better at. All right, looking good, looking good. Probably need about 1 more minute to make sure that chicken is cooked. Now, since this is thighs, there will be a bit of color still yet. They're not going to be completely, like you see some of them are a little bit darker, so it look like that. But my other pieces, especially the small pieces, are already looking like they're pretty much done. So I'm going a few more seconds there just to be sure. All right, I believe these are ready to take out of the pan, so I'm going to go ahead and get those out. This spoon here, a clean dish. And then after we get these out, the next thing that's going to be going in is going to be our mushrooms. Out of the spoon. Are we still at 5 people, Mr. Camera Guy? All right. Well, thank you for those 5 of you who are with us. We appreciate you very, very much. All right, we're going to go ahead and throw in those cans of the strawed mushrooms. Again, we'll let those cook for just a couple of minutes. It usually takes about 3 minutes for the mushrooms to cook there. And I just wanted to let you know we've got a few more videos coming up soon. After we finish with this, we're going to be making some chocolate chip cookies. My camera guy is very excited to try those. And they are allegedly the best chocolate chip cookies according to delish.com. So we're going to try their recipe and see how it stacks up against other chocolate chip cookie recipes. We are planning to make a pie for the upcoming Pie Day on the 14th. So 3.14 for pie. Okay, stir my mushrooms a little bit. They're talking to me here, making some noise. Okay, good there. And if you didn't get to catch up recently, we made an amazing chocolate cake. So the most recent video before this live is a dark chocolate cake with some white chocolate buttercream frosting. So I highly recommend after you watch us here, if you didn't get to see that one, if you missed it, go ahead and give that one a watch and a like. We'd appreciate it, along with any of our other ones, of course. Look at that, 1 more minute on these just to make sure that they are cooked. I mean, they're canned and I think they're already kind of pre-cooked and before you get them, but I just want to make sure that they aren't too tough for us to try to eat. So we definitely don't want that to happen. I'm going to go ahead and get my ingredients measured out that I'm going to be needing here. So for the coconut milk, I'm going to need 3/4 cup. And for my fish sauce, I'm going to be needing 1.5 tablespoons, I think. Yes. Make sure I didn't remember that incorrectly. And since everything's going together, I'm just going to reuse my measurer over here. Does not matter about that. Okay, I think these are looking pretty good. Usually what I can tell about them is they start to, the tops of them start to break a little bit when they're getting pretty ready. So they're kind of breaking down on us. All right, we're going to add this reserved marinade in here. Get that stirred in. Oh, we're up to 6. Hello. Sorry that we're not so sophisticated that we can see right now. We don't have any extra people to moderate and do all that. So I apologize that we're not quite to that level yet, but maybe one day we'll be able to get a better setup. Probably once we finally get monetized, if we can get enough watch hours. Oh, and we're up to 7. Wonderful. Welcome. Again, I don't know who it is, but my camera guy is signaling to me that we have 7 of you now. That is super exciting. Oh, and back down to 6, but that's okay. All right, so anyway, let's see here. We need to be putting in the coconut milk now and the fish sauce. So let's go ahead and do that. And we've got 3/4 cup on the coconut milk. I've never used this brand of coconut milk before. It doesn't look quite as thick as what I normally get. So this might turn out slightly different than usual. And then there's the 1.5 tablespoons. This recipe is on my blog. So after we get finished with the live, I will put that link for the recipe into the description. Right now, that is not in there. My apologies. All right, so we want to get this to a simmer. And it's getting there pretty quickly. Make sure we actually get it up there to simmering. Once we get it up to a simmer, we're gonna reduce the heat to kind of keep it at a simmer, and then we'll add in our salt. The salt we need just 3/4 teaspoon. And I did not get that out, so hang on over here. We gotta get a 3/4 teaspoon. Well, don't have the 3/4, so we're gonna get the 1/2 and the 1/4. That's fine too. Okay, let's get that turned back down. So we really only want that to be kind of simmering. We get our salt in there. Just gonna measure that over here to the side. So give me a second for that. And we're also gonna add the chicken back in. Ta-da! All right, so now we're gonna stir that all together. It's looking beautiful. All right, wonderful. We're gonna let that cook for just 1 minute so that all of those flavors get into the chicken. I'm gonna go grab, it's just, cameraman will stay there with the pan for just minutes, and I'm gonna grab a bowl so that we can serve this. And you can see me try it live. I already know it's wonderful because, as I said, this is one of our favorites. We love this recipe so much. It is really, 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 really tasty. So I have very high confidence. Oh yeah, it looks really, really wonderful. Smells great. Let me cut that heat. And we'll get a ladle so we can serve that up. I'm going to put some rice to go with it. Let's get some of that wonderful rice there. Go right along with it. I'm not going to plate the entire thing right now, just enough so that we can show it and try it on camera. I'm going to have to wait just a moment. I'll definitely eat more than this because I know how much I love this. But doesn't that look wonderful there? You can see the steam still coming off of it, so I'm going to give it just a minute before I give it a try. So you can see the rice. Look at how beautifully perfect and fluffy that rice comes out. It's not stuck together. And that's been sitting there waiting for a few minutes, well, the whole time that we've been cooking. All right, let me get a try on this. Just make sure it came out perfect. It's so good. I absolutely love this dish. In case you can't tell, it is so fabulous. And I've made it for guests before at our house too, and everybody usually raves about it. So I highly recommend you try this. Thank you for those of you who made it into our live. Thank you for our first live video. We're hoping that we'll get to have more live videos coming up. And certainly we hope that you'll tell other people about us, that you'll share our channel and give our videos likes. And we'll see you next time. Au revoir.